Have you ever noticed how some women seem to feel increasingly frustrated with their husbands over the years? It's a common experience in long-term relationships, where that once strong bond sometimes gives way to daily irritations or silent resentments. But remember, these feelings can be transformed. Why does this happen? Why do so many women, after decades of love and companionship, begin to feel disconnected from their partners? In this video, we're going to uncover the heart of these changes and explore how they can be addressed to reignite that loving connection. Over time, emotional needs can evolve, leading to unspoken frustrations. Many of these shifts occur so gradually that we might not notice until suddenly warmth has been replaced by feelings of regret. But here's the empowering truth. By understanding these patterns, we can see our relationships with fresh eyes. Recognizing these signs presents an opportunity to change course and reconnect. It's possible to create a fulfilling relationship once again. So stay with me until the end, because the insights we'll share might just surprise you and help illuminate your own journey in love. These aren't merely surface-level complaints. There are profound emotional factors at play, shaping our relationships in subtle ways. By the time we're done, you might find yourself reflecting on your own experiences, perhaps seeing them in a new and hopeful light. Before we dive deeper, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our uplifting content. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to guide us in creating better content for you. Now, let's explore the first reason: emotional labor without recognition. One major reason women may begin to feel resentment toward their husbands as the years go by is due to the emotional labor they carry. For years, women often manage the emotional and mental aspects of relationships, family needs, and household responsibilities, frequently without acknowledgement. Emotional labor goes beyond physical tasks like cooking or cleaning. It includes remembering birthdays, keeping track of schedules, and being the peacemaker. These responsibilities often rest on women's shoulders. Over time, the weight of these responsibilities can lead to exhaustion. Many men may feel that working hard to provide financially is sufficient, but a thriving marriage is about so much more. It's about emotional presence, effort, and ensuring that a woman feels valued for her contributions. When a woman tirelessly manages the home and family without acknowledgement, it's easy for resentment to grow. Consider the story of Carol, a 72-year-old retired teacher. For years, she balanced raising 3 children while working full-time and ensuring her husband's life ran smoothly. Every holiday, she planned meals. Every birthday, she chose gifts. She remembered appointments and maintained friendships. Carol made sure that life felt comfortable and organized for everyone around her. However, as time went on, she felt overlooked and unappreciated. It was only when Carol shared her feelings with her husband that they began to rekindle their connection, reminding us that open communication can lead to healing and renewed love. Carol and her husband learned that taking the time to appreciate each other's efforts was essential. By nurturing their relationship and acknowledging each other's emotional labor, they transformed their bond into one that felt vibrant and fulfilling once again. So remember, it's never too late to reconnect and reignite the spark of love. I dedicated my life to ensuring my husband's world was filled with love and comfort. Every holiday, I poured my heart into planning special meals. Every birthday, I carefully selected gifts that would bring a smile to his face. I kept track of our doctor's appointments and nurtured friendships for both of us, creating a home that felt warm and organized. But as time went on, I sensed a change. In her journey, she came to a profound realization. She had been pouring herself into others for so long that she forgot to ask for support herself. Decades had passed without her husband acknowledging her tireless efforts, and the love that once filled her heart now felt overshadowed by exhaustion. Emotional labor can often feel like an invisible weight, and like many women, she found herself at a crossroads where her needs had gone unrecognized. It's truly remarkable how the unseen efforts of one can shape the entire household. She dedicated her life to ensuring everything ran smoothly, yet the lack of acknowledgement made her feel like a ghost in her own home. This is not a sudden shift. It's a gradual realization that often leads to feelings of distance and resentment. It's a wake-up call that many, like her, experience when they reach their limit. Over time, appreciation can evolve. In the early days of love, simple gestures, a thank you or a kind word, were enough to spark joy. But as years turn into decades, when one partner assumes the other will always handle everything, it can lead to feelings of imbalance. The relationship can shift from a partnership to a caretaker dynamic, and that's when love can start to wane, replaced by frustration and fatigue. It's essential to understand that resentment isn't a sudden decision. It builds up over years of feeling overlooked and unappreciated. If a woman feels that her emotional contributions have gone unnoticed for decades, it's only natural for her to begin to withdraw. This is a common experience, and if you resonate with her story, remember, you are not alone. Many have walked this path, often without realizing it until time has passed. Another common feeling is that of being a roommate rather than a beloved partner. As time goes on, many women may find themselves cohabitating rather than truly connecting with their husbands. In the early years, there's excitement and passion, but neglecting the relationship can turn it into a shared space with little emotional connection. This change doesn't happen overnight, it's a slow fade. Initially, it might be missed opportunities for deep conversations or the excitement of shared experiences. Over time, the routine sets in, similar schedules, surface-level interactions, until one day she realizes the warmth and intimacy have vanished. Meet Linda, a spirited 69-year-old retired nurse. In her early marriage, laughter and long walks filled her days. But as the years passed, the conversations dwindled. Her husband became absorbed in television, and gradually, their lives became parallel, existing together yet feeling utterly alone. The hardest part? He remained blissfully unaware of the growing distance, while she felt the sharp pang of change. This shift is all too common. Many men mistakenly believe the hard work ends after the vows are exchanged, not realizing that relationships thrive on continuous effort. When emotional intimacy fades, it doesn't just leave a woman feeling lonely. It can cultivate a sense of resentment, an ache for the connection that once was. Women require emotional intimacy just as much as they do physical closeness. They need to feel valued, seen, and engaged. As we reflect on their journeys, let's remember that nurturing relationships takes time, intention, and a willingness to share in each other's emotional worlds. Only then can love truly blossom, bringing warmth and joy back into our lives. Intimacy was slipping away. I no longer felt desired or truly seen. I felt like a roommate rather than a wife. Take my friend Linda, for instance. At 69, she was a retired nurse who once shared laughter and dreams with her husband. They took long walks and embraced life together, but as the years passed, their conversations grew shorter and he began to retreat into silence. He forgot to ask about her day, choosing instead to spend time in front of the TV, leading them to live parallel lives, together yet apart. The hardest part? He didn't even realize it. To him, everything was fine. But for Linda, the loneliness was profound. This shift is not uncommon. Many men mistakenly believe that once they are married, their job is done. They forget that relationships need constant nurturing and attention to flourish. When a woman feels emotionally neglected for years, it doesn't just lead to loneliness, it breeds resentment. Women crave emotional intimacy just as much as physical affection. They want to feel wanted, appreciated, and engaged in their relationships. When those feelings fade, the bond that once felt like a friendship can begin to feel more like a partnership of convenience. Meaningful conversations are the lifeblood of any relationship. Imagine a loving husband who regularly flirts, compliments, and shows genuine interest in his wife. This kind of connection fosters love and appreciation. But when those sweet gestures fade, a wife might start to feel overlooked, leading her to question her place in the relationship. Sadly, many women strive to mend the emotional gap before giving up hope. They voice their needs and express a desire for deeper connection and affection. However, if their heartfelt requests are met with indifference, they may begin to withdraw, creating a distance that seems impossible to bridge. When a woman stops reaching out for reconnection, it can lead to lasting emotional distance. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many women experience this struggle, feeling the unexpected weight of a growing emotional chasm in their relationships. If these insights resonate with you, please share a number 2 in the comments below. Your engagement inspires me to continue sharing uplifting content that supports you on your journey toward healing and connection. One of the hidden challenges women face as they age is the buildup of unresolved conflicts, small disagreements, and emotional wounds that linger. Over time, these unaddressed issues don't just fade away, they accumulate, creating layers of frustration that can lead to deep-seated resentment. Many couples fall into the pattern of ignoring problems instead of addressing them. It often begins with minor issues, a dismissive comment, a forgotten anniversary, or an unresolved argument. Initially, a woman might let these moments slide, believing they aren't worth the fight. But as time passes, those small disappointments can build up, creating an emotional rift. A forgotten apology here, an unmet expectation there. Before long, a woman may realize her husband has unintentionally hurt her in countless small ways. Individually, these moments may seem insignificant, but together, they can create a chasm that feels insurmountable. Take the story of Patricia, a spirited 74-year-old retired accountant. Married for over 40 years, she appeared to have a stable marriage. Yet beneath that surface lay years of unaddressed resentment. She recalled every time her feelings were dismissed, every unmet need, and every promise that went unfulfilled. Patricia had tried to share her frustrations in the past, but they were often brushed aside with comments like, "You're overreacting," or "That was years ago, why bring it up now?" Eventually, she stopped arguing, stopped expecting change, and began to see her husband as someone who didn't truly care about her feelings. This pattern is far too common. Many women hold on to their hurt because they never received closure. When a husband repeatedly overlooks or minimizes his wife's concerns, it inadvertently sends a message that her feelings don't matter, which fosters resentment. Emotional neglect can build resentment like nothing else. Additionally, unresolved conflicts can alter a woman's perception of her husband. In the early days of marriage, there is love, admiration, and partnership. However, when conflicts go unresolved, those positive feelings can begin to diminish. A woman who once saw her husband as her best friend may come to see him as someone who simply doesn't listen. Over time, he can transition from being a partner to feeling more like an adversary. The greatest loss is the emotional connection that once brought them together. The vibrant connection that once filled her heart can turn into a feeling of isolation. A woman who once saw her husband as her best friend may now view him as someone who dismisses her needs. The hurt can transform a partner into an adversary, stifling any sense of joy. It's common for many men to overlook the subtleties of communication in a relationship. They may believe that if there's no arguing, everything is fine. But silence can often signify a deeper issue. A woman may have stopped trying to express herself. Remember, if you felt unheard, you are not alone. Many women share this experience, and acknowledging it is the first step toward healing. If you've ever felt your feelings have been pushed aside or thought, "Why should I even bring this up?" know that your voice matters. Countless women have faced similar struggles, and it's essential to recognize that you are not isolated in your feelings. Let's talk about the evolution of priorities as women age. It's a natural transition. Our desires and aspirations grow and change, yet sometimes our partners remain unaware. What once felt rewarding, whether it was nurturing children or supporting a partner, can begin to feel restrictive as we seek new avenues for fulfillment. Many women reach a point where they crave more than what life has offered thus far, a deeper emotional connection, personal growth, or newfound independence. When their partners don't notice these changes, it can create a painful distance. After years of selflessly caring for others, many women yearn for a life that reflects their own dreams. As children grow up and the home dynamic shifts, it's common for women to look around and realize something is missing. If their partners have not evolved alongside them, it can feel like a trap, leaving them longing for a more fulfilling existence. Take Helen, for example, a vibrant 68-year-old retired librarian. For years, Helen dedicated herself to her family, from assisting with school projects to planning memorable vacations. But now, in this new chapter of her life, she longs for adventures, social connections, and hobbies that excite her spirit. Yet her husband finds comfort in routine, choosing to spend his evenings in front of the TV, indifferent to Helen's desire for exploration. When she suggests new experiences, he simply responds, "I'm happy the way things are," unaware that Helen is not sharing in that happiness. This is where feelings of resentment can start to build. A woman who has dedicated her life to others begins to realize that her own needs are not being met. She dreams of a life filled with fulfillment, but if her partner isn't willing to grow with her, she starts to perceive him as a barrier rather than a companion. That shift in perception can transform mild frustrations into deeper issues. It's not just about changing priorities. It's about recognizing those changes before it's too late. Many assume that their partners will always be content, failing to see that they also desire more from life. As women feel they're outgrowing their marriages while their partners remain static, a disconnect can occur, creating challenges that require genuine effort to mend. Aging should be seen as a time for new possibilities, filled with opportunities for growth and connection. When women feel they are still blossoming, but their partners have stopped, it's not just boredom that creates resentment. It's the feeling of being held back from the life they now envision for themselves. If you relate to this, if you felt your priorities shift while your partner remains stuck in old habits, know that you are not alone. Embrace the conversation, seek to reconnect, and remember that it's never too late to rediscover joy together. When this happens, it's not just about feeling bored, it's about feeling constrained from living the life they wish to embrace. If this resonates with you, and if you've ever felt your priorities shift while your partner remains in old habits, know that you are not alone. Loneliness can be a common feeling for many women as they age. If you're still with me and find these insights meaningful, please share number 4 below to let me know you're here. Your feedback will inspire me to continue sharing content that supports understanding. Number 5. The longing for emotional intimacy. One of the deepest feelings of connection is not just a phase. It's the lifeblood that keeps love vibrant and alive. For some women, the realization that things have changed isn't marked by a dramatic event. It dawns on them slowly. Take Sharon, for instance, a spirited 71-year-old retired secretary. She fondly remembers the days when she and her husband would hold hands during walks, or when he would gently place his hand on her back while they talked, or surprise her with warm hugs just because. Yet now, she feels a distance. Conversations have shifted from sweet exchanges to mundane talks about bills and errands, and sitting together on the couch feels like sitting miles apart. One day, Sharon expressed her feelings, saying, "I miss the way things used to be." His reply, "We're too old for that now," struck her deeply, revealing a disconnect in their relationship. What many may not realize is that affection goes beyond romance. It nurtures emotional security and connection. Women continue to want to feel beautiful, adored, and valued. When a husband withdraws affection, it doesn't just lead to loneliness. It can make a woman feel invisible, creating a profound wound in the heart of a marriage. As couples age, changes in physical intimacy are natural, especially with health concerns. However, the real pain for many women lies not in the decreased intimacy, but in the absence of emotional connection. When small gestures of warmth and compliments fade, it can make a wife feel less like a partner and more like a roommate. Here's the truth. Women don't simply adapt to this. They often start to resent it. They feel neglected, their emotional needs overlooked. The yearning for connection remains, but when their partners deem affection unnecessary, it stifles the spark of love that once burned brightly. Many women strive to mend this disconnect before resigning themselves to it. They hint at the need for more closeness, express their sadness, and strive to communicate their feelings. But if their concerns are dismissed, they can feel unheard and unvalued, leading them to stop asking for love altogether. When a woman stops reaching out for affection, it isn't because her desire has faded. It's often because she accepts that her needs won't be met. This acceptance can quietly extinguish the remaining embers of love. If this resonates with you, remember that it's never too late to rekindle those small gestures of warmth and connection. Women don't simply adjust to this. They begin to harbor resentment. They feel ignored and their emotional needs dismissed. They yearn for connection, yet their partner may believe affection is no longer necessary. Many women make attempts to bridge this gap before feeling they have no choice but to give up. They hint at wanting more closeness, sharing their sadness, and expressing their need for affection. But when those feelings are brushed aside, they eventually stop asking. When a woman stops asking for love, it isn't because she no longer desires it. It's because she has come to terms with the belief that she won't receive it. That realization can dim the light of hope that once burned brightly within her. If you've ever felt the weight of loneliness in a relationship that once brought you joy, take heart, you're not alone. Many women face this challenge as they age, often navigating it in silence, yet there's hope in sharing our stories. One common struggle in long-term marriages is the sense of being overlooked. After years of love, sacrifice, and care, it can feel as though your efforts are taken for granted. It's a journey that many women find themselves on, realizing that their loving gestures have shifted from heartfelt actions to mere expectations. In the beginning, love is filled with gratitude. A simple thank you for a home-cooked meal can light up a day. Yet, as time passes, those words may fade, and the warmth of appreciation can feel distant. It's not uncommon for husbands to forget to acknowledge the everyday efforts of their wives, assuming those acts of love will continue without recognition. This gradual shift can transform love into resentment. Consider Nancy, a 72-year-old retired school principal. For years, she lovingly managed her household, ensuring her husband's favorite meals were served and keeping their lives organized. Yet, she began to feel the emptiness of silence instead of gratitude. After preparing a special meal one day, she looked at her husband and asked, "Do you even notice how much I do for you?" His confused shrug struck her deeply. In that moment, she realized he had stopped recognizing her efforts entirely. Feeling invisible in your own marriage can be heartbreaking. When a woman dedicates herself to giving only to feel unseen, it can wear her spirit down. Over time, the desire to give may dwindle, not out of spite, but from exhaustion. The issue is not merely a lack of appreciation. It's that many men may not fully grasp the depth of what their wives contribute. A woman who manages the household, remembers special occasions, and supports her partner emotionally may appear fine outwardly, yet inside, she may feel drained and unnoticed. Resentment doesn't arise from a single event. It builds from countless small moments of feeling unappreciated. When a woman feels undervalued, she may start to withdraw emotionally. Laughter fades, conversations diminish, and the little loving gestures that once flowed freely may cease, not out of a desire to punish, but because she feels she has nothing left to give. What many husbands may overlook is that showing appreciation doesn't require grand gestures. A heartfelt thank you, an occasional acknowledgement of her hard work, or a spontaneous compliment can rekindle that emotional connection. Without these simple affirmations, the bond can feel lost. If you've ever felt like your love goes unnoticed, or if you wonder whether your spouse appreciates all that you do, know that your feelings are more than valid. Many women silently navigate this struggle, questioning the significance of their efforts. Remember, your love matters, and sharing your story can open the door to healing and reconnection. As she withdraws emotionally, laughter fades, conversations dwindle, and the little gestures of love she once effortlessly shared begin to diminish, not out of spite, but simply because her heart feels empty. What many husbands fail to understand is that appreciation doesn't require grand gestures. A simple thank you, acknowledging her hard work, or a heartfelt compliment can reignite that emotional connection. When those words are absent, the bond may begin to unravel. If you've ever felt like you're giving endlessly without receiving gratitude, or if you've wondered if your efforts even matter, know that your feelings are valid. Many women navigate this silent struggle, longing for acknowledgement and connection. Remember, it's never too late to rekindle that spark together. If you're still here, soaking in these inspiring insights, please share number 6 in the comments. Your support energizes me to keep crafting uplifting content that brings comfort and joy to you. One of the poignant reasons women may start to feel distant from their partners as they age is the realization that they have grown apart. The man they once shared laughter and dreams with can start to feel like a stranger. This transformation isn't abrupt, it unfolds gradually, shaped by the rhythms of life. When emotional connections are neglected, it can lead to feelings of isolation. One day, a woman might look at her husband and ask, Who is this person, and how did we arrive here? Many marriages begin with a profound bond, filled with meaningful conversations and shared aspirations, where partners truly understand one another. Yet as time passes, life's demands, careers, children, responsibilities, can overshadow that connection. If couples don't actively nurture their relationship, they can drift apart. For many women, the first sign of this shift is a noticeable lack of deep conversation. They may observe that their discussions with their husbands have turned superficial. Sure, they might exchange thoughts on practical matters like bills or daily plans, but the rich, intimate connection seems to fade away. The curiosity about one another's feelings and thoughts diminishes. When she tries to engage in meaningful dialogue, he might respond with indifference or quickly steer the conversation back to the television. Over time, she may stop reaching out. Take Margaret, for instance, a 74-year-old retired social worker who once shared late-night talks with her husband about dreams and aspirations. Those conversations were rich with depth, but now they have become shallow. When she asks him about something important, his responses are mere grunts, redirecting their discussions back to the news. When she shares her interests or personal growth, he barely listens, and she realizes she's living with a man who no longer truly sees her. This emotional gap can become even more painful when women feel the weight of loneliness, while many men may continue on blissfully unaware. They often believe that as long as there are no major conflicts, everything is fine. But for women, this emotional disconnection can feel as isolating as a fierce argument. It leaves them feeling invisible, isolated, and profoundly alone within their own marriage. Another realization that often hits is the divergence in interests. Over the years, many women cultivate new passions, hobbies, and perspectives, while their husbands may remain unchanged. She might yearn for adventures, new skills, or profound discussions about life, but if her husband remains stagnant, she may feel trapped in a marriage that no longer fulfills her. The hardest part is mourning the vibrant partnership they once had. They remember the man who filled their days with laughter, held their hands with love, and cared deeply about their dreams. When that version of their husband fades away, they are left with someone who may be physically present but emotionally distant, and that can be a painful reality to face. They cherish the memories of a man who filled their lives with laughter and warmth, holding their hands and sharing their dreams without a second thought. Yet, as time changes him, they find themselves with someone who is still there physically, but emotionally distant. Despite this challenge, they remind themselves of the love that once was and seek new ways to connect, embracing each moment of tenderness and understanding. Just like a beautiful garden, love can bloom anew, even in the face of adversity. Absence can sometimes lead to feelings of resentment, but let's focus on the beauty of love. Love isn't just a spark, it's a flame that needs nurturing. Imagine a husband who, through small, daily gestures, chooses to stay emotionally connected with his wife. This commitment transforms their home into a haven of love and understanding. If you've ever felt that quiet ache of distance growing in your relationship, I want you to know you're not alone. Many women have walked this path, often wondering if they're the only ones facing such challenges. Your experiences are shared by many, and together, we can find a way to reconnect. If this message resonates with you, drop a number 6 in the comments. Your thoughts are invaluable and help me create content that celebrates and uplifts you. As we reflect on our journey today, let's recognize the strength and vulnerability. It's important to remember that feelings of resentment don't spring up overnight. They build over time, often due to unexpressed emotions and the longing for connection. It's a journey many women experience, feeling unseen or unheard. But there's hope for renewal. Resentment doesn't signify the end of love. It signals a need for change. Many women feel trapped, believing their emotions are too complex to share. Remember, it's never too late to initiate those honest conversations, to ask for appreciation, or to reignite the love that once flourished. Whatever the journey looks like for you, your feelings are valid and shared by many. Countless women have traversed similar emotional landscapes, emerging stronger, wiser, and more confident. You're not alone in this. There is a community ready to support you. You deserve to feel cherished in your relationship. That has always been true, and it always will be. I'd love to hear which of these signs resonated with you. Have you ever sensed a shift in your marriage? Your insights are valuable, so please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for being part of this conversation. I'm eager to hear about one takeaway from today's discussion and how you plan to implement it in your life. Your reflections matter, and sharing them can inspire others on their journey. Your comments motivate us to continue creating uplifting content. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support fuels our mission to provide inspiring and informative content. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in our next video. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Together, we can foster understanding, love, and connection. Your story matters, and it can light the way for someone else. Let's keep the conversation going.